Hi, I'm Rob, and in this Gems of War video, going to tell you what's good and bad in the Soulforge. Going to show you a really cool raid boss team and a Underspire team at the same time. So let's first of all take a look at this weekly event troop, the Icy Portal, and see if it's any use or not. Draxum Ultra Rare creates 6 freeze gems as a set in stone amount regardless of your player level. Then summon a Draxum troop. That's not very good. Create 6 freeze gems is not a very good amount. It's more likely to set the enemy up than it is to help you out collecting blue and freezing the enemy. But it is immune to frozen itself. Does inflict frozen when doing skull damage and reduce damage from skulls by 50%. So vaguely usable up top as the first troop, but the fact it has the summon normally means it's more useful further down. So because the first troop to die is quite often the first one because of skull hits obviously affect the first troop. So yeah. Not very good. I was thinking 3, but the traits just about lift it to 4. Feels like I give everything 4 out of 10 sometimes, but it is what it is. Still going to get it to apparently mythic level. It's not really mythic power, but you get it to mythic level, and it's another one at level 20 eventually. So yeah, get it there and carry on. Anyway, I once met a girl with 12 nipples. Seems strange, doesn't it? Do you see? Doesn't it? Doesn't it? 12 tit, 12 nipple. Yes. You must see. In fact, that would be a thing to see, wouldn't it? Anyway, I'm not even going down that road. I'm trying to stop myself being distracted from thinking of all those things. Right, so into the Soulforge we go. We'll start off with the weapons and we shall move on to the troops after. As ever, I'm not going to go over the ones that are here all the time, like the Eye of Zathanos, the Shattered Blade, Broken Guard, etc. They're in my Soulforge extra video. And we won't craft the Stone Caller from here because that is the raid boss weapon. We'll get it from there because you get other benefits at the same time. And much better to get that kind of thing with gems than spend diamonds, which are much harder to get in the game. So get the Stone Caller from the shop in the event. But let's take a look at what it does. Explodes magic +1 brown gems, grants a random status effect to all Draxum allies, then summons a Draxum troop. So a nice explodey summoning weapon, really handy. Generally really good mana generators, has a summon, get those status effects, and we'll have to look at what the upgrades are when we get it fully leveled up because they are often very useful at the same time. Fire and Ice. Deal magic-based damage to all enemies and give 2 life to all allies. So a moderate amount of damage to all with a little tiny bit of life. What's that like? Just putting a plaster on something or something. That's literally what it does. It's like, yeah, nothing too fantastic there, but hey, it is what it is. Next up we have Doomed Blade. This is a pretty good one like this. Deals damage to all enemies with a +1 per temporary level boost. The higher it's tempered, the more damage it's going to do. And transform red gems to Doom Skulls. If the enemy has a Doom, create 5 more and gain 3 mana for each blue enemy. So can charge as well with loads of mana, particularly against blue enemies, which is really good. You can look for those red gems turning into a 4-match. So not only do you do a ton of damage, you get the 4-match Doom Skulls as well, which also explode, meaning you get even more mana back for your team. So really good. And I do particularly like that, gain 3 mana for each blue enemy at the same time. Very effective against a all-blue team. Excellent stuff to Doomed Blade. Recommended to go get that. Stone Slicer. Deals magic-based damage to an enemy boosted by construct allies, then creates a mix of 6 purple and brown gems for each construct ally. These weapons are pretty common in the game, but what's not common is the fact that this one can actually self-charge itself as it uses one of the colours it generates, which is very unusual. It uses blue and purple, creates purple and brown. So make sure you've got at least a couple of brown troops in your team at the same time to benefit from the browns. It does create a dust storm at the same time as it casts. But yeah, really good and very unique in a way that it can self-charge itself at the same time, which is kind of cool. Craig's invention. What do you invent? Looks like a harpoon gun. Mr. Harpoon may argue against that invention and who invented it, but never mind. Deals magic-based damage to an enemy boosted by Draxum allies. Then creates a mix of 6 blue and brown gems for each Draxum ally. Uses red and yellow. This is the way it usually goes, you see. creates blue and brown. So you must make sure the rest of the team, or at least a couple of them, are made up of blue and or brown allies to make the most of all that lovely mana. Axe of Draxum, kind of the anti-Draxum weapon in a way. These are very cheap to craft. They're not great. A lot of people don't tend to use them, but they're worth crafting just for the fact they're so cheap to craft. And it gives you another weapon. And the reason why you want another weapon from certain kingdoms is you need a certain amount of weapons fully leveled up to progress your kingdoms. So very important and handy to pick up because they're so cheap to craft. Removes all brown gems. That's the colour that Draxum enemies love the most, and deals magic-based damage to an enemy boosted by gems removed. If the enemy is from Draxum, if the battle is in Draxum, deal double damage. So yeah. Ooh, excuse me. Keg's Crusher. Deal magic-based damage to an enemy boosted by dwarf allies. Then create a mix of 6 blue and brown gems for each dwarf ally. So again, as you'll see on this one, uses green and purple, creates blue and brown gems, which is why that other weapon was kind of so unique, because this is the way it usually goes. So again, as ever, just make sure you've got at least a couple of your troops using blue or brown gems to benefit from the mana it creates. And yeah, the upgrades aren't too bad on that either. Stunned, you're going to stun the first enemy when you cast that. Duskbringer. Just going to mention it briefly because it is a pretty cool weapon. Does cost a lot to craft, like 1,000,000 souls and some celestials and these other weapons here, but the Ankh of Nefertari is one of the things it needs to craft, and you'll see that right underneath it. So even if you're nowhere near crafting Duskbringer right now, it's totally recommended to go crafting the Ankh of Nefertari today, because it gives life to an ally boosted by brown gems and gives them a quarter of their mana. But the main reason you're crafting this is because it's one of the ingredients needed for Duskbringer. And if you don't get this now, you'll be waiting a heck of a long time for it to come around again. So you could actually finish off collecting all these other ingredients for Duskbringer, but you didn't get this today, and you'll be just sitting there waiting for it for like forever to come around again. And you'll wish you crafted it today. So make sure you craft the Ankh of Nefertari today in preparation for getting Duskbringer. Say it every time, but Wand of Stars, if you haven't done it already and you've got the resources, make sure you craft it. Best weapon in the game. It's absolute filth. Create 6 elemental stars, bless all allies, or create 7 umbral stars and curse all enemies. So usually gets really good mana gen. Can fail sometimes, but that's the risk of something so good. But you do get the bless or the curse at the same time. So fantastic, fantastic weapon. And next up we have Glowing Core, really good weapon again, nice explodey, summony weapon. Explodes magic +1 and brown gems, grants a random status effect to all construct allies, then summons a construct. There's some really good construct teams out there, so being able to explode brown gems, charge them up quick, giving them status effects, and summoning one should be lose a troop is really, really good. Absolutely fantastic weapon, the Glowing Core, very useful indeed. The Doomed Heirloom, yeah. Not my favourite kind of thing. Give 2 magic to all allies. Can be good depending upon your team. It's going to pump up their damage or their spell. But the +1 to per tempering level boost. Then give magic +2 armour to blue allies. And if the enemy hits a doom, gain 10 attack. So most effective with an all blue team. Because obviously when you cast it, that magic goes on all allies, which includes yourself. Which means you're going to get even a bigger boost to that armour gain the next time. But yeah, I don't think I've ever used it apart from when it's forced upon in an event or something like that. And these are related to the special dragons. But we have the Doomed Impaler. Sounds painful. Deals magic-based damage to the first 2 enemies with a +2 per tempering level boost. Then create 2 red gems for each red ally and enemy. If the enemy has a doom, gain a random status effect. These kind of weapons are absolutely fantastic in PvP when you're forced to fight an all-red team with an all-red team, because you know basically like all the enemy is going to be red, so you can use this weapon knowing you're guaranteed the highest amount of red enemies. And if you're making your team all red at the same time, then you are going to create an awful lot of red. It's often going to loop and just do that damage again and again and again until everybody's dead on the other side, which is a lot of fun. So yeah, absolutely awesome weapon in that situation is the Doomed Impaler. And again, these are for the Uber Dragons. Right, let's now shift across to the troops and take a look at them. As ever, go through these summoning stones quickly, especially if you're a newer player and you haven't got all the troops yet. Have a little look through here, see if there's anybody particularly special. Oh, there's a couple here that are good already. Daughter of Time, create 5 hourglass gems and 5 freeze gems, then gain an extra turn. The cool thing about this is if you have an explodey troop in your team, then basically with those hourglass gems, when you explode that troop after casting her, because you do get an extra turn, then you're going to guarantee taking out those freeze gems and hourglass gems generally, and that gives you another extra turn because of the way the hourglass gems work. Really, really cool. Absolutely love the Daughter of Time. She's fantastic, and she does have a 50% chance to convert a yellow gem to an hourglass gem when my turn begins. Really, really good. And Ogress is probably worth picking up as well. Not in that way. Yeah, anyway, pulls herself to the front and stuns the first enemy. Bet she does. Then explode 1 random gem boosted by my life. So it doesn't sound much at first when you're a newer player, because it is based on how much life you've got, how much gems she explodes. But as you grow with the game, as you get stronger with the game, more powerful, and your stats increase, she will just become more and more useful, because she will explode or destroy more and more gems. Explode gems. Yes, that's what she does. Explodes gems. Anybody else that's around here that stands out as super useful absolutely immediately? Let's have a little shuffle through. Enchantress stands out for a couple of reasons, but I'm not going into that because it's a family show. Horror. Royal Engineer, definitely worth getting. Gives a magic-based armor to all allies, summons a random mech, then creates 3 bomb gems. Works really well with Tesla. She's a human troop as well, and that armor boost to all allies can pump up Tesla's damage and gains bonus red from red gem matches, which is what Tesla uses. So he's a really good match for Tesla. So he is. Right, let's look at the mythics. We'll start at the bottom and work our way up. Nebuladrix is the dragon on rotation this week, so if you need that to finish off your set of dragons on the way to crafting Stellarix, then absolutely worth doing in my opinion. Damage to all enemies, converts 5 green gems to green dragon gems, with a 10% chance of an extra turn boosted by green gems. Then gives 1 to all skill points to green allies when matching green gems, and that does have that really cool reduction from spells and skulls at the same time. Christina's here. Christina Aguilera. Choose one, give 8 mana to all allies and bury them, or give magic-based amount again to all skills on all other allies. Both actually okay options. The first one, upon first glance, doesn't seem as powerful as some other spells, like give 8 mana to all allies and bury them, but barrier is actually pretty good. You can use this as a troop ready to cast when you need it. And say the other team's got, I don't know, Stellarix, and they're 1 match away from getting ready from being able to cast, or they're enchanted and they're going to cast next round. You can choose this, cast it on the first option, bury everybody, and then survive that first that cast from Stellarix, meaning that she has to get cast or charged again, which gives you time to get this ready again. So yeah, it's not bad. And I do like that second option, or give magic-based amount to all skills on all other allies. So pretty decent troop, that one. Do like it. It's better than what it first appears. But oh my god, Takshaka is here. Takshaka is just insanely good. Deals magic-based true damage to an enemy and a random enemy, then create a mix of 20 blue and green gems. The cool thing about that amount is that's a set in stone amount, so even if you're a newer player, you are still going to create that 20 blue and green gems, but the damage will vary upon your magic level and how far you've progressed in the game. Absolutely amazing troop. The fact that it uses blue at the same time means it can self-charge to a degree. But another thing that makes it great as well as that spell, is it creates a ×3 wildcard when my turn begins. You see these in 2s and 3s all the time in teams, which is because of that rainbow scales, that creating a ×3 wildcard. With 2 of these, you'd create 2 of them. Excuse me. With 3 of these, you'd create 3 of them every turn, and it tends to just charge itself up, or whatever your troop you got on top, really, really quickly. Absolutely amazing troop. If you've got 1, craft another one. If you've got 2, craft another one, so you can do that awesome ×3 Takshaka team. It's just absolutely worth it. One of the best troops in the game, full stop. And the other cool thing about it as well is, got to mention, is the damage only hits 2 enemies, but because it's not damage to all, even if enemies are submerged, it still hits them. And if they're the last enemy, it hits them twice. It's so good. It's just get it. The end. All right, so where do we go to next? We have Urieli. Very good, particularly against or with someone that's going to kill somebody outright when you've got them poisoned first, like a Scorpius. Poison all enemies on 4 or 5 gem matches is one of the things that she's so good for. Absolutely fantastic. So just get a 4 match and you can poison everybody. And with a troop like Scorpius in your team, something like that, that just kills people outright if they're poisoned. Absolutely a dream pairing. As well as that, she deals magic-based true damage to all enemies, boosted by Naga and undead allies, and summons a Bone Naga at the same time. So that really good trait with a half-decent spell and a summon makes Urieli pretty decent all round. And Plague is the last one of the mythics. Eliminates magic plus 2 points of a random skill from all enemies, poisons and diseases them. Really poor, basically. I just don't like it at all. It's just a bit naff. Deal double skull damage versus diseased enemies. Is immune to all status effects. Impervious is okay, but so easily overridden now with Curse, especially with the Wander Stars. An aspect of Plague. Enemies lose 3 skill points on 4 or 5 gem matches. So nothing great about Plague at all. But let's have a quick look at the legendaries. Don't usually say to craft the legendaries because your gems are much better spent on much harder to get mythics. But Gorgotha is a really good one. Explodes magic-based gems and cleanses itself. Just an explosion of a huge amount of gems and a cleanse. Reduced damage from skulls by 75%, makes an absolute pain in first place at the same time. So Gorgotha, really good. Legendary. Unlike Shadow Dragon, which is not that great anymore, poisons all enemies, deals true damage to a random enemy, and transform all yellow gems to purple to boost the effect. I mean, it can get that transform and do it again, but yeah, it's just not a troop you see anymore. It was one of the more popular ones in the early days of the game, but you don't see it a lot anymore. Sekma. Used to love Sekma in the early days. Used to love her. Absolutely fantastic. Transform blue gems to skulls and transform blue gems to yellow. And then deal damage to an enemy boosted by all other allies' magic. I haven't used her for a while, but she was really good as a early and mid-level player. Did used to like her a lot. And gain 2 magic on red gem matches as well. Boosted up her power. Yeah. Oh, Sigma. Reminds me of the early days of the game. Very good indeed. And we have Regent Caliph. Gain 4 magic and either gain magic plus 1 life or deal magic plus 1 damage to all enemies or gain 10 more magic. Don't think I've ever used him in a team ever. So yeah, there it is. But who is the mythic of the week? I mean, there is some okay ones here. I'm not looking at a Plague for that. Urieli's good. Aguera's good as well. But as soon as I saw Takshaka, it was just most likely to be the mythic of the week absolutely straight away. And it absolutely is. Amazing true damage, can hit submerged enemies, can self-charge itself and just charge up the whole team so fast. Good with 1 in the team, even better with 2, and just filth with 3. So just get Takshaka, absolutely fantastic. Right, now on to the raid boss team. Now you must use the event captain Dougal Ramhorn, interesting name, in your team to benefit from that ×2 magic and ×2 score. Is for this event only, but absolutely essential to include him in your team. And you get him from the shop at tier 2, but you have to buy the tiers in order. So you get tier 1 first, which is great anyway, because it gives you the potion of enchantment. This ensures things just happen so much quicker at the beginning of each game, and you pick up those other things at the same time. Tier 2, you get Dougal Ramhorn. Deals magic-based damage to an enemy boosted by Draxum allies. If they're a boss, deal 3 to 5 times damage based on my ascensions. We'll be using him to bash out that boss really quickly. Every single time. Really cool. Now, don't worry too much about that Godslayer trait at the bottom. I'm not too worried about that if you don't have many resources, because we'll be using the spell to deal with him. And again, if you can't get it to a mythic level, then don't worry too much, because we got other ways to deal with that boss at the same time with this team, which is cool. Tier 3, you get the weapon. Absolutely worth picking up. Really good. Explodes magic plus 1 brown gems. Grants a random status effect to all Draxum allies. then summons a Draxum troop. So a nice explodey summony weapon, do like them a lot. And at tier 2 you pick up the Potion of Explosion as well, which combined with that Potion of Enchantment means just everything happens so quickly at the beginning, the team is normally ready to cast pretty much immediately. And then a tier 4 onwards you get more stuff of everything basically, including more Dougal Ram Horns. There's 2 ways to get him to Mythic level, either by tier 2, where you get one of him, back out and use 2 Orbs of Ascension to get him to Mythic level, but I'd only recommend doing that if you're no longer chasing Zorgoth. If you're still after Zorgoth, those Orbs of Ascension are still really important, so I wouldn't recommend doing that just for the benefits of this troop. But you can spend more gems if you're helping out your guild, doing lots of battles and things like that, if you want to get this Mythic level that way. But basically in this team, what we're going to do is we can use him, if you haven't got it to Mythic level, with the damage we get from these 2 here to actually finish off the boss. Or get it charged again, because it's only one using green and brown, so even if you have to cast this twice, it's still worth doing that way. But this is a non-mythic team. I'll show you a mythic alternative in a minute. But why the weapon's worth getting is because we're going to use it. Yes, we're using the actual weapon in the event for a change. Explode, magic +1 brown gems, gives a random status effect to all Draxum allies, then summons a Draxum troop. The cool thing about this is it does stun the enemy at the same time, and it depends on how useful that is. When you cast that, if the enemy's dangerous or a bit annoying, like it will take away their traits. So that can be beneficial at certain times, depending upon who you're fighting. Then Lithian Servitor does magic +1 damage to all enemies, then steals 2 magic from all survivors. So if they're dead, we don't care. If they survive, we nick some of their magic and do more power next time, which is really, really cool. And with 2 of them, you can double up on the casting of that, because obviously with the Potion of Enchantment, they'll be ready to cast in no time at all. And when the boss comes along, we can use Dougal Ramhorn to slam into that boss, bashing him into oblivion and knocking him clean out of the park, like a baseball swing wallop. Take that, matey boy, you are gone. Right, so mythic alternatives, if you have the troops, then Garnatarlin, really, really fantastic choice for this. And if you've got 2 of them, this is where the duplicates do actually sometimes come in handy. Just swap out those Lithian Servitors for 2 Garnatarlins. It's going to do an enormous amount of damage, much more than what it says there on the screen at the moment, because things change when you move into the actual slot itself. I'll just show that just for effect. Like 88 damage to all enemies now, boosted by brown gems. And the good thing about Garnatarlin is as well, is it uses opposite colours to the weapon. So when you cast this, you are guaranteed to pick up every single bit of green, red and brown you get from that. So that is a very nice way to go about it indeed. But let's chuck our Lithian Servitor back in. That's a good way to go about it. You can go about it with skulls as well. Various ways to go about that with skulls, like King Bloodhammer's pretty good. Transforms blue to Doom Skulls to boost the damage. Moira Cragheart is also a Godslayer. She can use her to get rid of the boss at the same time, as well as convert green gems to Doom Skulls. And yeah, so there are some good choices in this. But I do like the idea of just whacking them out with these damage to all troops. Unless you're going to go a really long way, then you may have to cast like the weapon again to charge up the team one more time. But at first, it's going to be absolutely silky smooth, I think. So Frozen Banner for this team, +2 blue, +1 purple, -1 red. Going to be in Geomancer for this. Start with 50% in mana, get reduced damage from skulls by 50%. Going to have stuff like Serendipity, give a random ally a random status effect. You can have impact if you so desire. Hammer, gain 2 magic if using a hammer, which we are. Anti-magic sphere, reduce damage from spells by 20%. Dwarven armor, we've got a dwarf at the bottom there, so we may as well get a bit of extra armor because of that, because we don't need that one. And you can have that one if you're a lower level player. Explode more gems at the beginning is very, very useful. Rock Solid, gain a barrier when matching brown gems, which we do to charge up our team. Tree of Knowledge, gain enchant when matching green again, which we do to charge up our dwarvy fella at the bottom. And Fortitude, immune to stun, poison, disease, death mark, lycanthropy and devour. Right, so all good to go. Let's jump into a few battles. We'll only do a couple at this lower level, and then we'll jump forward when things get a little bit trickier. Right, so the weapon is very nearly ready to go. Let's that'll be enchanted next round. Let's cast this, explode brown gems, Lithium Servitor is bound to be up. That's actually quite a slow one, so let's just bash the crow thing around the edge so it doesn't run off anywhere, and then do the damage with our funny looking octopusy friend. He's sort of octopusy looking. Octopussy? No, that's a James Bond film. Octopus looking thing. Oh my goodness. Actually quite a good film, Octopussy. One of my favourite quotes in films, Octopussy. When he comes around or whatever and she's hanging over her sort of thing, hanging over him, over James Bond. I'm sure it's that film. And she wakes up and she says, "I'm Octopussy." And he sort of looks a bit like stunned and says, "I must be dreaming." Something like that. It was very funny. Right, I've jumped forward to when Webbed Janet starts appearing. Those early stages are super straightforward. Fly through them, but this is going to be absolutely fine as well for a lot of stages, unless you go really far in this event. In that case, you may have to start casting Lithium Servitors a couple of times, depending upon how many times you do that. They will get more magic each time, so we're just going to collect mana for the weapon, cast the weapon. That's going to help get charged up the Lithium Servitors. We'll take a form action if it's there. Why not? Cast the first one. If anybody survives, the next Lithium Servitor was ready to cast the next round. If you do need to cast them back to back, make sure you've got enough mana for both of them. Otherwise, you'll get mana blocked on the second one. You will have to then wait because you're going to have to charge the first one again. But the Potion of Enchantment means that the second one will get there in a few rounds anyway. So it's still going to happen. It's just more efficient to do it early. Just show that little bit of patience at the beginning. Right, so might as well get some purple then. Oh, grab a bit of that first. And a bit of that. That's going to be enough. Alright, let's just show it a couple more times. Pretty straightforward team to use. Now we've got the Valraven there. Must make sure you get that before it flaps off. Make sure you get the extra turn. Get that to get the blue at the same time. Let's charge up the team. They're gone. Let's get rid of Matey Boy at the bottom. And to take him out. Someone survived. The explosion from this will finish him off. See you later. Yeah, so nice and quick with this. But Garnetarlin. I'll show this one last time with this lineup. Then we'll change to Garnetarlin just to show how effective that's going to be with that. Because I think that is going to be rather juicy. So they survived. No big deal. Let's get rid of them. And we'll cast a weapon if we can get our colour. Oof! See, that's what I'm about to see, about being patient and letting them, the second one, charge up. So I went against my own rules then. Presumed we were going to just automatically win, but we didn't quite. But hey, all is well. Right, now let's just do one battle with swapping that for Lithium Servitor for Garnetarlin, just to see how effective this is going to be. Obviously, it's going to be a little bit slower on the initial charge. Don't think there's any benefit. Well, we could actually, you could go one Garnetarlin and one Lithium Servitor, because then you still get more damage from this, but then still benefiting from extra blue, overspills from the weapon, and picking up any purple as well. So this is not a bad way to go about it. If you've got a Garnetarlin. We'll take a bit more charging, of course. Because it uses 3 different mana colours, it means there's more on the board for it to pick from. So this is going to be really quick for this as well, actually. So yeah, pretty cool. Oh, I've pressed go again. Right, last battle, then we'll look at the Underspire team. Have we got any blue? Yes, we have. Can we make any more out of that? Yes, we can. Lots of brown air to explode. Garnetarlin's ready. Yeah, it's going to be a piece of cake with Garnetarlin. Wow. Now on to the Underspire. I'm not going to spend a huge amount of time in this section of the video because it's very similar to the Raid Boss team. Still going to roll with the same weapon. You can still go with the same kind of tactic, like Lithian Servitors if you have them, a Garnet Tarlin instead if you have 2 of those. And then for the 4th troop, because we don't want to pop in our Dougal Ramboy because there's no bot on this one, you're not going to benefit from that extra damage anymore, so just pop in whoever else you've got that does a significant amount of damage. Even Fallen Valdus could be handy here, god damn it, dealing damage to all enemies and exploding Doom Skulls, which is going to help charge up the team. But the theory will be very similar to the raid boss team. I'm not going to get the benefits of the Potion of Enchantment or Explosion, but it's charge up the weapon as quickly as you can, cast that, explode the gems, get the damage dealers charged up and get them cast. Be it a Lithian Servitor or be it even Ghost King Grimhorn or whoever you choose. But I'm still going to roll with Garnet Harlan for this, I think, for my team. So I just might show how it works with one of them in it. Because you can see how it works with a Lithian Servitor in the previous teams. It's just so similar. So I might go with that. Can swap out another Lithian Servitor for a 2nd Garnet Tarlin if you like. That is a really good way to go about it. Make use of those duplicates. Always good to make use of those duplicates. Right, so what have we got? Have we got any blue? No. Got any yellow? No. Let us make yellow then. There we go. Explode those brown. That's got our angry dragon up, who will kaboosh the heck out of everybody. Let's grab our free stuff from Matey Boy, Chin Face, Mr. T Wannabe. And move onwards to fight the Foxfire King and its cronies. Oh, that's a nice little start of yellow straight away. We'll absolutely have a little bit of that. And a slice of that. Always good to use extra colours. This is why I like to have purple in the team as well. Because this time round, it was this one that beat Garnet Harlan to the punch. And you can wipe the enemy out. Right, let's make this the last one. It's so similar to the raid boss team. It's a little bit, I was going to say scary, but it's not scary, is it? Why do people say that? It's not actually scary at all. It's a little bit something, but it's not scary. Get that just cuz. And a little bit of that. Okay amount of brown on the board, and Garnet Tarlin got to steal the thunder this time. So yeah, that'll be good for a long while in the Underspire, I think. Pretty effective and easy, but yeah, it is. There's the video. If you enjoyed it, it'd be really cool if you bash that like and subscribe button. It really does help. But most of all, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you again in the next one. Bye for now.